Alright, in this video we will be looking at our quiz. Number 1 says, which ordered pair would not appear? We're looking for not appear on the graph. How much Juan earns in X hours. So X is going to be his number of hours and Y is going to be how much Juan earns. Let's look at a table of this. X is the hours and Y is how much he earns. Well, clearly if Juan, it says he earns $7 per hour, that's his rate, that's his slope. If he works 0 hours, he's not going to make any money. If he works 1 hour, he will make $7. If he works 2 hours, he will make $14. I'm going to skip and look at a couple of other ones. If he works 3, he will work 21. He will make $21. If he works 4, he'll make 28. If he works 5, he will make 35. You can see for every 1 increase in the hours, he has a 7 increase in his earnings. That's because that is his rate. That would be the slope in this case. Well, indeed, 1 does pair with 7, so that will not be an answer. 5 pairs with 35. 3 pairs with 21. 4 does not pair with 14. Alright, 4 pairs with 28, so 1 is B. This relationship would be proportional. It would be linear, and it does go through 0, 0. Proportional relationship. What is the equation of the graph in slope-intercept form? Well, we know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M is the slope. B is the y-intercept. And that y-intercept is a point. In this case, here's the y-intercept. You see it is at -6. It's the point where the line crosses the y-axis. -6, 0, -6. That's the y-intercept. So this value here needs to be -6. It's going to be y equals something, some slope, times x, but this plus b will be subtracting 6. Unfortunately, every one of them say subtract 6, so that doesn't help us here. We need to find the slope. Well, you may remember from before, slope is equal to a change in y divided by a change in x. Slope will also tell you which way the line's going. Can you see this line's moving up? If we wrote our name on this line, the line would be moving in an up direction. It's going to be a positive slope. Therefore, it won't be A or C. Well, we need to find 2 points. We know 1 point is 0, -6. Let's find one more point. It's kind of hard to tell on our graph. Another point we can see on here, and I gave you in class, that 3 paired with 6. Thus, from 0 to 3, that's an increase of 3. From -6 to 6, that's an increase of 12. Change in y is 12. Change in x is 3. 12 divided by 3. We see that our change in y is 12 and our change in x is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 4 is our slope. That goes right here. The equation of our line is y equals 4x minus 6. The correct answer is 3b. 3 is B. Number 4. In class, I told you that we should change these 2 numbers. That is, the 5 should be here and the 20 should be here. That is, we buy hats for $5 and we sell them for 20. What does the graph of our profits look like? Well, if x is our number of hats and y is our profit, right? If we don't sell any hats, we won't have any profit. If we sell one hat, well, we bought them for 5 and sold them for 20, so our profit is 15. If we sell 2 hats, then our profit will be 30. And if we sell 3 hats, then our profit would be 45. I'm going to sketch a small graph over here to examine that. This is X, our hats. And Y, our profit. Alright. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4. Profit 0, 15, 30, so forth. So 0 pairs with 0, 1 pairs with 15, 2 pairs with 30, 3 would pair with 45. So what you can see is this is it's going to be a straight line. It's also going to be a proportional relationship because it contains the point 0, 0. So it's going to be a line that goes up. 4 is A. Number 4 is A. Run. Number 5. Graph the equation y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Well, let's just examine a couple points before we try to make this into a graph. Here's my x and here's my y. I'm going to examine 0. Substituting 0 for x, 1/2 times 0 is 0, minus 3 is a negative 3. This point is our y-intercept. And we knew that already because of this value, negative 3. So the line must cross over at negative 3. A is a possibility. C is not. B is a possibility, but D is not. It must be A or B. Okay? Alright, let's put in another point. I'm not going to use an odd number because that would give me a fraction here. I'm going to use an even number like 2. Substituting 2. 2 times 1/2 would be 1. 1 minus 3 would be negative 2. Now I'm going to substitute a larger number, say 6. 6 times 1/2 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. And I only need 2 points to find a line. That second one would be enough, but we should really see it here. 2 pairs with negative 2. Over 1, 2. Down 1, negative 2. Right there. 6 pairs with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't quite see it, but you could extrapolate, extend this line, and imagine that it would pass over that one. So it's going to be A. Looking at B, 2 goes with negative 2, 2 with negative 2. Indeed, it is not on the line, so B would not be correct. 5 is A. Okay. How many messages does she send in 6 days? The graph shows the total number of text messages Donita typically sends in a given number of days. How many messages in 6 days? Well, X is my days, Y is my messages. Okay, so simply going to read the graph. In 6 days, it appears she's here, and that's looks like it's slightly more. I'm going up to 6 days and coming over to my y-axis, and it looks like that's just slightly more than 70. So 6 would be D. Alright, number 7. The graph shows the cost per hours of renting a power tool. Okay, so 369, this here would be 0. Alright, which describes the relationship between cost and the number of hours. Well, proportional, you may remember, proportional had 2 characteristics. One, it was linear, that is a straight line, and 2, it contains one particular point, 0, 0. Okay, and in this case, this does not contain 0, 0. It contains 0 goes to about 12. Here, 0 goes to 12. That is, there is an initial cost of renting the power tool. Often when you pay for goods or services, they'll charge you some amount up front and then some amount for each hour after that. Okay, so the cost of renting this power tool, it is linear. It is linear, but it indeed is not proportional because it does not contain 0, 0. So linear and proportional, no. Linear but non-proportional, yes it is indeed. Non-linear, no, it's a straight line for sure. Okay. 7 is B, boy. All right. Eight. Okay. Here we're looking at our hours worked and our money earned. Well, in this case, we do contain 0, 0. All right. And it is linear. So this one will be a linear proportional relationship, A, contrasting with the previous one. 8 is A. All right. 9. Use the graph to make a table and write an equation. Well, I'm going to identify first my y-intercept. You see that's 6. That is 0, 6. Alright, that's my y-intercept. So I know I must contain 0 goes to 6. 0 goes to 6 in A. That's a possibility. 0 goes to 0 in B. B is out. Here we see we have a y-intercept of negative 6. Even though it's not on the table, it's not going to be part of our graph. We want 0 pairing with 6. Here 0 pairs with 6. So we're down to either A or D. Okay. It just takes 2 points to make a line, so we need any other point. No, we don't. Here we can see that, in fact, the y-intercept is, even though it's not on the table, this says 0 pairs with 6. 0 would not pair with 6 in this function because here this y-intercept is a negative 6. Alright, that's the y-intercept. That is saying 0 pairs with negative 6. So in fact, this table would not work with this equation. It must be A. 9 is A. Right. Let's see these points and see if they are on this table. 1 pairs with 7. 1, 7. Sure looks like it. 2 pairs with 8. 2 with 8. That looks pretty reasonable there too. Negative 1 pairs with 5. Negative 1, 5. That looks pretty good. So, indeed, 9 is A. Number 10, write an equation for the table of ordered pairs. Well, one thing I see right away is 0 pairs with 4. Alright, that is my y-intercept. Okay, so in the equation y equals mx plus b, the y-intercept, which is b, in our case is going to be 4. So this is going to be y equals something times x plus 4. Well, that would eliminate both C and D. This one has a y-intercept of negative 4. This one has a y-intercept of 0. No y-intercept at all over here. All right. Or a y-intercept of 0, I should say. Now we can just see who satisfies this equation. If I substitute 0, negative 2 times 0 will yield 4. Substituting 0 here, 2 times 0, 0, 4. I knew it was going to be 0, 4 because they both have a y-intercept of 4. But which one will work on one of these other points? It takes 2 points to define a line. So I'm now going to substitute 2 and see if it pairs with 0. Substituting 2 in place of x. In B, what's 2 times 2? 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. For this one, 2 pairs with 8. It can't be B. It must be A. Let's examine. Substituting 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, and negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So, indeed, in this equation, 2 does pair with 0. 10 is A. All right. Those are the questions, the 10 questions. You can find your grade. If each question 10 questions means each question would be worth 10%, but we're going to get some additional points here. Each question will be worth 8 points. Minus 8 for each miss. Okay, that is, if you miss 0, you would get a 100. If you miss 1, you would get a 92. If you miss 2, you would get an 84, and so forth. See if you can figure out what your grade should be.